It's just different.
Hopeless at one point, and then having the opportunity to make you go harder, make you get in that booth and just really express that hopelessness. Like, man, y'all don't understand. This is like, you know what I mean? You dig from a different place. That bottom of your soul, that pit, homie, where you felt like the shit was, you know what I'm saying? You always wanted, but it looked like it was just not gonna happen.
Shit, in your mind it ain't gonna happen, shit, it probably won't. I took some risks, some people probably won't. That's how we're grateful for the fruits of all my labor. Hard to live and know you sick, I'd rather be with my creator, thinking time's up.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Foreign Side Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Obi.
It's your boy London, back for some more gems. What up, Obi?
Not much, brother. Just another day, another week, another opportunity to bring gems to the people. What's going on your end?
Nothing much. You know how we do. Busy as usual during the week. Come here every week and drop some more gems. So I'm back for another one. This one here is an important one because, you know, we've been getting feedback from ladies and everybody's like, well, you guys just have like the point of view from men, kind of give the other side of women. And I keep telling them we're going to put women on the show. We're just kind of getting our feet wet still. So this episode is for y'all ladies today, y'all.
All right. And so London already set the scene. But before we get into that, obviously, let's get the formalities out the way. We appreciate all of you guys who continue to support us, who continue to give us feedback, you know, talk to us in person or on Instagram or wherever, you know, about the show and how you guys are rocking with us, how you guys are supporting us, you know, sharing it. And we appreciate all of y'all and continue to do so. We ask by just giving us a 5-star review on all your listening platforms, subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. That way you get notified when all the gems get dropped for y'all. All right, so let's get into this week's episode. So like London said, we've been grilling the ladies quite a bit, you know, in this podcast. So me and him partnering up, us just talking, you know, about what we see, you know, from social media, from in person, from our experiences. And, you know, London, you know, we were in the gym and he was telling me like, Mike, our feedback is, you know, that women are saying we're just talking about them, we're grilling them. We're not taking their, you know, opinions into account. I said, that's a fair point. So what I did was I went up to some of the women that I know, you know, and I just asked them, I gathered the list. I said, yo, as a single woman, or even if it was a woman in a relationship, your single friends, what are some of the challenges that you women are facing in, you know, dating men in this modern time? And they gave me some good answers. So first off, shout out to them who engaged with me because, you know, that was really important that I got that. And we're just going to tackle some of the points. So first and foremost, the first point on the list is that men don't listen these days. So London, when you hear that, what do you think of, or what do you think, or how does that land for you whenever you hear that women say we don't listen as men?
I'm gonna be so real with y'all. This for me. This for me is gonna be so hard because all the things that we're talking about today, I do, but I'm gonna try to think of the general level of what women think from men in general, because I hear that a lot too. Men don't listen. I personally think it's women coming up with like maybe excuses just to kind of win that argument. But I kind of, maybe you can kind of allude to this a little bit, but I think when they mean that don't listen, when women say that they want something to change, us men sit there and say yes to just dead the argument or dead the conversation and kind of be good for a week or two, maybe 3, which I struggle with that too. Like, I'll fix it for like 2 or 3 weeks and then maybe I might fall off the track. But what a woman's going to do, they're going to be like, well, see, you don't listen. Whereas like, I don't know. I feel like if it's flip-flopped, then like I said, I don't think men can really be right in situations. I think as a woman, happy wife, happy life, I really think that stuff is real. I don't agree with it, but I think that's how their mindsets go. Maybe you can talk about it, about men don't listen, because I don't really see it, but maybe you see it.
First and foremost, you said happy wife, happy life. You said it's real, but you don't know whether you agree with it. Is that what you said? And
yeah.
Why not?
Because I had a conversation with somebody weeks ago. If you're a man and you kind of voice your expression on how I feel or I don't like something, like you said, you're looked at as you're weak, you're soft, you're sensitive. Why are you crying? If it's flip-flopped, it's women are more emotional, so they're going to cry about it, baby about it, and then it's going to be more of like a World War III, like see me versus that. But I think we can say women don't listen, but like I said, this is about what they feel. But I just think if your woman is happy, then you have less headaches instead of like making an argument. Like me, I'm very like, I don't agree with that, but it's like to avoid a lot of confrontations, just let them be right in some things and just keep moving on, because you're going to just hit a lot of roadblocks. I don't agree, but I think that's why a lot of men say happy wife, happy life. I know you don't agree with it.
It's not about me this week. It's about the ladies. This is what I think whenever like women tell me men don't listen. I think what happens is that from my observations and even from dating women and from talking to them, I think what happens is that most women communicate very passively, right? So as a result, it's like, like prime example is when people are in a relationship and a woman's like, the trash needs to be taken out. She's not gonna say, honey, can you take out the trash? It'll be something like, this trash is really full, huh? And then the guy's gonna kind of hear that, and it's like, okay, well, it's not really that urgent, right? Yeah, okay. I heard that the trash is full, but that doesn't mean I have to take it out right now. Especially if he's doing something like working or watching a game or playing a game. It's like, I'll get to it later eventually. You know what I'm saying? But in the woman's mind, it might be like, no, I want this trash taken out right now. But that confrontation of, can you take the trash out now? She probably doesn't want to go through that. So it's like, if I just communicate this indirectly, he'll get the message or he'll get the hint. And whenever he doesn't get the hint, then it's like, he's not listening to me, or he doesn't pay attention, or he's not taking my opinion into account. Right. I think that's kind of where I look at it, or I hear it. Aside from that, I mean, I think also just, when there's an argument, I think a lot of times, the way that we communicate, men and women, everybody's trying to communicate to be right rather than to listen to what the other person is saying. And so then it'll come off as, well, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're just listening to respond, right? I think both men and women are guilty of that, right? Yeah. But it's like you said, when a guy is trying to get his point across, it's like, why are you complaining so much? As opposed to, for a woman, it's like, we kind of, she's a woman, she's going to complain, right? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying that's usually how society looks at the two genders as far as that. Whether it's right or wrong, I mean, that's on people to determine for themselves. But I think that's what kind of lands whenever I hear men don't listen. What do you think about that?
I think you made a good point on that with the trash analogy, but like I'll go a little bit deeper. Like, we might be at a restaurant or something, and a woman, you might have a first date, second date, you might be with them for a month or two, and they might just drop little sudden hints. I like this, I like that. And over time, if you don't react on those, women are like, he don't listen, he don't do this. Which I get it. If you don't tell me, I ain't about to do nothing. I ain't gonna lie to you. So if that's what y'all mean by don't listen, I don't listen. But I hear you. But it's like, to me, I think that's, to women, the little things is what makes them love you or like you, or it's like, he does all the little things to make me feel this way. Whereas another guy could be just trying to get in my pants, just doing this, saying the right things. This guy heard me say, I want flowers. I like flowers, or I like picnics, or I like this. And he just did it on his own and took initiative. Because I talked to some girl at the gym with my homeboy. And then basically she was like, guys don't listen. I like them to take initiative and kind of lead the way. So she's like, when I have to lead the way or be more of an alpha male, like, I don't like that. So I feel like women would tell you what they like. And it's for you as a man to kind of do it. And if you don't, then they're going to say, well, you don't listen. You're just in your own world. Or they might say something like the trash analogy and be like, you might hear me, but you're not listening. So it's like, I think that's what they mean by it, in my opinion. So
is it possible, or does this make sense to you? Or let me ask you this, in fact, do you think that women more so communicate their wants through their words or through their actions? Meaning, for us guys, do you think that we would hear women through what they say or through what they do? The reason I asked that question is because it's like, like you just brought up the little things, right? A woman will say, things indirectly. So then it's on, okay, well, I see her reaction is this. This is positive, and that's what lands for us. That'll make guys get the hint or get the message, as opposed to if a woman says it, maybe we're thinking she's being indirect, so maybe that's not what she means. But when she acts on it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she has a positive reaction or a negative one. That's what lands for us gentlemen, more clearly. Do you think?
That's 100% true. Like, I will say women, regardless of, I mean, I know this is off topic, regardless of like a woman's about to leave a man or they're about to do whatever, women can hold their composure and not show what they're like trying to like feel or something. So it's like, it's hard for us to kind of read off of them. Like, a woman can check out of a relationship 5 to 6 months without us even knowing that. We think in a relationship, we good, we got past something. But on the flip side of that, what the whole topic you were saying was, I feel like you need to be direct with us. Like, I can't read your mind. Like I always say, I can't read your mind. Like, this ain't no goddamn game or no circus. Like, I'm not here to try to read you. And they're going to be like, well, if I was to tell you everything, it wouldn't be as important. No, I'm grown. You grown. I get it. You like it. Some things, okay, I need to pick up on. But like, don't do that for every goddamn thing. So it's like, I think that's what they're coming from it. And like I said, this will be great for having a woman on this show when we do, just to kind of ask them, like, what do y'all see in that aspect of like, it just shows that we care? Like, y'all always have to know that we care or something for y'all to feel validated or something? I don't know what it is, but I think that's what they try to do.
Here's my last observation. I would say that the reason why they don't approach us directly is because that leaves too much room for them to be told no. Now, most guys won't tell the woman no because they know that no, lands very negatively. I think that's one thing. But then also in being able to have a guy who knows how to take initiative, like, I communicate indirectly because I want you to take the initiative. That's kind of, what they talk about with men leading, right? As opposed to if I have to then tell you what I want and then have to, kind of walk and baby step you, then, that's not really attractive to the woman, I think, is kind of why they prefer to communicate indirectly, in my opinion.
That's true. I agree with them on that. I think they like I said, they like a man who takes charge and kind of see things and do all those things. I think it's attractive for them. It turns them on. It makes them feel like, okay, this man knows how to control like the narrative, and like he knows how to run this household when I need him to be a man, if he is, whatever. So I think that's why it allows them to be like, like I said, I never thought women had a problem deferring to men. Mm-hmm. It's like, you just have to be that guy for them to do it. So I think that would be the last talking point of that. But I think that's what you got to do to make women know that, hey, I'm listening. Just take charge and do the things that they know you can do, basically.
Most definitely. I agree. Great start. So second point on the list is men are desperate. So
absolutely.
So you already agree with the ladies on that one. Now elaborate.
Not me though. Not me. I don't fall into that desperate category.
All right. Well, when women say that men are desperate, what do you think they're talking about?
I agree. Like, I got a lot of homegirls who be showing me the DMs from dudes. Yeah. They snaps. Like, these dudes,
wild, bro. It's
like,
wild.
If you have a DM and you DM a girl, right?
Yeah.
And she does not reply the first time, I get it. This sounds horrible. I told my homegirl, I said, I look at y'all, because I'm in sales. I said, I look at y'all like sales and accounts. It sounds bad. I said, but it's not bad. I'm like, you can't just jump the gun in the account. You gotta put some rapport into it, warm them up. Because all girls are thinking you're trying to just have sex with me. That's all they're thinking. And the sad part of it is they be wanting to have the sex too, just as much as the guy. But you gotta just not be so direct and be like, I want to have sex with you. That's gonna make them say, no, you're I'm not even gonna curse on your F boy. So basically what you have to do is you can't be desperate. You can't show that you care. One thing I tell every guy is do not care. Care, but do not care. Like in the beginning, when you're trying to get that woman, you cannot care. Fellas, you cannot care. I guarantee ladies will tell you the same thing. If you're hitting them up on a DM, okay, if they don't reply that time, maybe reply to another story. 2 strikes and you out in my book. We don't have 3 strikes. We have 2. But the guys that I've seen, they was sitting about 12 different things. Let me get a foot pic. I'm not saying all guys like this. Hey girl, you look gorgeous. You look fine. Like, bro, go about your day. Yeah. Like, to me, to get a woman is focus on your craft and the rest will follow. That's how I think of it. Yeah. So when girls be like, guys are desperate, I agree. I 100% agree. Don't get me wrong. I've slid in girls' DMs numerous times, but once I don't care, like, I just don't care. But like, that's why I think a lot of women do rock with me, is because I move a certain way. And like, I agree with them. They're very desperate. Guys got to get better at that, because y'all got to believe in yourselves. Like, I just know, we not like that. I know all my circle I hang out with ain't like that, because you don't like us, I don't like you. It's just very simple to me. It's mathematics in my head.
That boy London dropping the gems, man.
I was waiting to get that topic.
Nah, but you're absolutely correct, man. And I 100% agree with women. Like, even when my homegirl said it, I was like, you are so fucking right, bro. Like, it's crazy out here. Right. And I think what my whole thing, put simply, is I think guys get caught up in trying to chase women that aren't attracted to them. My number one rule is I don't interact with or try to get involved with women who aren't attracted to me. Like, in terms of dating, obviously I have my friends, I have my homegirls, like, that's different. But if it's like a woman's giving me lukewarm interest, or she's like kind of just flaky or just stand, I'm like, okay, all right, we good, nice to meet you. And I move on in my life. Like, I love and respect myself enough to be able to be like, okay, I'm not finna waste my time and energy like trying to overdo it. Now, like you said, like, there's a level of care and a level of effort, but at the same time, I'm not finna be a dancing monkey in terms of that stuff either. Like, it's like you have 2 strikes, I give you 1 strike, and then after that, it's like, hey, I'm good. Like, because my thing is, like, keep the same energy. You know what I mean? Like, if
I think we're competitive in that aspect of it. Like, you can't.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make you regret what you just said.
I mean, it's like it is what it is. Like, I'm competitive, but at the same time, I don't take the game too personally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, all right, it is what it is. There's billions of women in the world. I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. I understand that, and I just move on, right? Like, for every woman that likes a big, strong guy, there's gonna be another person or another woman who's like, nah, that's not my cup of tea. I don't like that. He's a little too bulky for me. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as guys. Like, everybody has preferences. So my thing is, I understand that full-fledged, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go towards, and I'm gonna be attracted to women who prefer me, and I just let that be what it is.
But you see, when you have that aura like that right there, that's how you get women, fellas. Like, when you just sit there and say, you know what it is, not everybody can like you, or they can't just always just want you, or don't blow them up. Like, they really gonna think you a creep at that point. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you got to just know what you want, drizzle a little bit of sauce in there. After that, you gonna see me. And then at that point, I get to decide if I blow up. Because once you blow up, they don't even care what you could have been the same guy yesterday. You blow up the next day, you a whole different dude. So at that point, I decide. So that's why I hold myself to a whole different level. Because I'm like, I already look at myself like the rich, famous guy in my head, and I'm not even there yet. So it's like, when I do get there, I'm not going to treat anybody, like I said, the custodian or CEO differently, but I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to keep in my head of a jot of a list of everybody I know who didn't rock with me. I ain't going to be disrespectful, but you know your place now. And that's all you got to do. And that's when women be like, dang, I messed up. I'm like,
that boy L got to kill list. Ain't that a bitch?
I got to kill this. You curve me, that's fine. But please, baby, don't let me blow up. Because woo, that'll be dangerous.
Hey, but at the same time, this is why me and you rock, because I'm the same way. I don't got to kill this. It's not to that extreme, but it's just, I take inventory. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I forgive, but I don't never forget. So it's like all the women who thought, oh, okay, I'm better than him, or I could, do this or do that. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. I understand.
I'm ugly.
No hard feelings. I'm not even gonna say that, but it's just no hard feelings. I wasn't a cup of tea. No problem. That's cool. But just whenever I level up, because I expect high things for myself, and I'm going to be successful. When I get there, hey,
that's the thing. I don't even want to be like famous no more. Like,
no, it's not about being famous, but it's about achieving goals. I think you and I set a high bar for ourselves, right? And so for us, it's like, especially with the social media age that we live in, it's like, you know, we get told a lot, oh, well, you know, they don't want you until you're a finished product. They're, you know, women aren't going to see you as attractive until you've made it there, until you've made it to the finish line, until you've achieved your end goal. So it's like, for now, it's like, well, while we're still building, while we're still emerging, you know, all the women who, you know, think we're not good enough, it's like, all right, no harm, no foul. It is what it is. But, you know, when we do get to where we need to, you know, we thank y'all because y'all feel us to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like, for example, like when I was 276, like I was bulking, like I was never just ever fat. Don't get me wrong, like I was 276, but I was bulking for like 2 years, and I just was like, whatever. I'm starting to see so many people at the gym now, which that's just compliments and stuff, but like they just be like, oh, you're doing great, bro. And now people are just starting to talk. Not that I hate it. It's just like, why couldn't somebody talk to somebody when they was like, whatever? I don't know. I just kind of get like a little about it. I think people just like people when they up, or if they're in their own good space. I don't really rock with that, but that's just the way of life. I just say thank you and keep it pushing.
Does it make you more skeptical? We're going to get back to it later, because I think this is an important fact of life and an important thing to talk about. Does it make you skeptical of those people who didn't speak before? Now that they are?
No, because it depends who you are as a person. Me, I know how to play the game. So if I think somebody's trying to play me, look, they know I'm about to play them, but they don't even know I'm about to play them. So it's like, if you're trying to outdo me, I'm going to let you think you outdo me, but I'm going to get something out of you and you don't even know it. So it's kind of weird. I just know how to play the game. Like, I'm never going to burn no bridges. But like, if I feel like you just using me for something, I'm going to let you think you're using me, but I'm going to really be using you. And then you're going to be like, oh, dang. We both going to get something out of each other. So it's like, to me, I'm not about to sit here and argue with you. I just know people only like people that's up. Like, not a lot of people like somebody who got 500 followers, but like, if you come up and you get like 150,000 followers over like 6-7 months, you're a whole different guy. To me, that's weird. But I'm like, I was 600. I'm the same guy, but now that I got this and more people are following me, or more people are giving me attention, now you rock with me. That just shows where we are in society. But you got to just kind of know who you are as a person. So
yeah, unfortunately, you know, people live very artificially. So it's like, oh, this person, they're beneath me because they don't have the same amount of followers, or now that they are, you know, social media famous, then now I can rock with them. You know what I'm saying? When they had 600 followers, they don't have any value to me. But now that they have a couple thousand, maybe now they're verified, now that can help me, I'm gonna rock with them. And to me, it's like, that's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. Like, I don't knock it, I don't complain about it. It just is part of the times that we're living in. I just learned to adapt with it, and you just got to keep on moving, and you know, just understand who you can and can't rock with, who is genuinely for you and who genuinely isn't for you. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So the next point on the list is that men, we don't know how to be faithful, we don't know how to be truthful, and we display shady, red flag, lying behavior. So this one's a spicy one. El, what do you think about when you hear that?
Hate to say it, it's true. I got two sides of this: the truthful side and the lying side. So back in high school, I got no play, so I can't really speak on it from there. I was fat, so I mean, but I just show you, like, see, when you're down, you ain't getting no play. When you up, you get play. That shows you an example of that. But when I got to college, I was in a relationship for 6 years. Everybody knows that probably by now. I just said the story about a million times. But I was a lying dude. Like, so it's like, to me, I lied so much to the point where it was like, I had to keep the same lies for 6 years. And like, that just it's kind of like manipulating the girl's mind. It really is. When you lie so much and you just try to tell them something else, and then you're doing the opposites, like you making them think that you some type of dude and you really not. And when you get caught, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. Like, whatever. I changed, and you keep doing it. That's going to mess up a girl's mind. And I learned that being young and whatever, being dumb. It took, like I tell men, I always tell women, a man would never change until you actually leave them. Until you actually leave them. And like, if the dude really is in love with you and you leave them and you bump their head and like, oh, wow. Because like, men be thinking, oh, I could cheat a million times and they'd come back. I thought that. And then when my ex left, I was like, oh, You like, you seriously leaving? I'm like, okay. And then you see him move on, you be like, oh. So I just sit in my house, in my apartment, and kind of get my mind right and be like, this is how you improve yourself. This is how you get better. And it took me about a couple of years to get over everything, but it made me learn to be truthful with every girl that I'm talking to, regardless of what. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't lie, because like lying, I don't get you nowhere. And kind of Obi probably would tell that he probably never gonna lie. He gonna be honest with you. Ain't gonna cheat. So he's probably the good saint. I got both sides now. I'm the good guy now, but I used to be a very bad guy. But like, when women have every right to say we lie about everything. Every guy I know almost lies about everything, and it's not good. You got to figure out how to put everything together and be truthful, because you'll be surprised what you can get out of a woman by just telling them the truth, to be honest with you. So
yeah, I mean, so before I became Obi today, that is just a straight shooter and always the truth, I had my moments where, you know, I didn't tell the truth 100%. See, I never was the type to think I was manipulating anybody, but it was little things that ended up becoming big things because I wasn't 100% honest in the beginning. So 2 examples of both my relationships I've had. The L word that we talk about, right? I said it the first time and didn't mean it, and the girl thought I did. And so as a result, when it came out that I didn't mean it, you know, like she grilled me on it. She was like, so wait, do you really mean it? Do you really think that? I was like, I mean, I really never grew up hearing it. I never grew up understanding what that was. I never grew up, you know, hearing it or saying it to anybody. So honestly, to keep it real with you, I don't think so. And it was like the switch of her being completely infatuated to me. And then it became like, you lied to me. I don't know if I can trust you, you know, that type of thing. So just in that one moment, that small instance, it wasn't even, you know, what most people would consider a huge lie, but it was a little bit of, you know, hurt me toying with that trust, caused a negative outcome that caused the relationship to deteriorate from that moment on. The second person, it was like, you know, I was the type, you know, I'm in college, I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the gym, I'm working, I'm focusing on other goals. And then it was like, you know, I want us to be official. That's what I was told. And I was like, I'd rather just keep the casual thing. I decided to go through the relationship just on some, maybe I can just kind of ease into it instead of being fully invested. But I realized I was lying to her. I wasn't giving her my all, really, truly. I mean, I was still committed. I never cheated or nothing, but at the same time, I could tell that I wasn't really fully invested. You know what I'm saying? And so as a result, it started to become an issue more and more, because it's like I wasn't giving her that effort, probably in her opinion. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not the type to like tell someone one thing and then like do the other, but it was just like me not being true to what I was really thinking at the time, or just being firm on like, I'm not really feeling this at the time. You know what I mean? Can even, you know, cause like distrust. So just for me, it's like why I'm the way that I am now in terms of like being, you know, like upfront with someone, is because I realized that works better. Like telling them and communicating, like, this is what I'm on, this is what I'm feeling. You can not take it or leave it, but it's like, this is just what I want. I want you to understand where I'm coming from, and this is how I see us working right now. And then we can develop into something, you know, as we, you know, get to know one another, instead of saying, oh, we can be all this right now. That's not what I'm on. The fact of the matter is, I like to let things grow organically. You know what I mean? And so, but I think like you were talking about, you know, previously, I think men get desperate and like, man, if I tell her the truth, she might not give me none. So I gotta tell her what she want to hear. I gotta tell her what she want to hear. And that lying only makes it worse in the end. You know?
Just digs up. And it's like, to me, I got 2 points to that. It's like,
yeah,
women gotta, if y'all keep saying y'all hear the same stuff from men, y'all gotta pick up on that early and learn how to leave. If you just staying in that, that's just as bad as he's doing it. Like, you're just as wrong as well by just staying in it and letting that dude keep doing it to you, because you're not doing nothing for yourself. No. So it's like, you have to, even though it hurts to leave or do whatever, you gotta leave so you can gain respect. A man's never gonna respect you if you don't respect yourself. I'm gonna be 100 with you. Like, if you don't respect yourself, a man's gonna think he can do whatever he wants to you until he wants to. Like, oh, she ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna treat her how I want to treat her. Not that is right to do that, but as a woman, You gotta man up, woman up, whatever you want to call it. You gotta put your left foot forward and your right foot forward and say it's time for me to go. You can't trust me. I mean, you can't respect me for who I am. So I'm gonna leave and go find somebody who is good for me. And that's when the man will be like, oh, and they're gonna try to come get you back. You cannot fold. Even if you are gonna come back, let him know for like a year or so. Like, I'm gonna let him really sit on this for a whole year. If he moves on, go to other women, you starting to see, you just see who that person is. Me, I move on quick. So you'll be like, oh, I really don't care. Not that I don't care. I'm just so numb to stuff coming from my childhood that is like now at this point, once I felt that L word, you want to call it, once I felt that and got over that, I was like, ain't no girl about to touch me no more. Cause like I've been through the worst with it. Like you said, Obi said a good point. He was like, we haven't heard I love you or said it or whatever. Like that just don't come around African Americans or Nigerians or whatever. That just don't really happen a lot. And if it do, good for you. Got a good foundation. But I think also women got to know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
So if you're talking to a Black person, and I know where me and Obi are in the African American like foundation, everything like that. You have to kind of know who you're talking to. So if you're African American woman, Asian woman, white woman, Latino, like Mexican woman, like whatever you are, you have to know who you're dealing with if you're dealing with us, like us as Black people, because it's like most of us come from foundations of not hearing I love you, holding hands, kissing, doing all that. We don't see that growing up. And like that's just like 85 to 90% of us, I feel like. So it's like you have to figure out, be like, okay, I know my man hasn't seen that. Let me teach him. One thing I say my ex taught me on was she grew up with a family who say, I love you, hold hands. And like, she kind of taught me like, it's okay to hold hands or say, I love you in front of people. I was like, oh, you can't? I didn't think I thought that was soft. But it's like, over time, I grew to learn to say, it's okay to say, I love you, or it's okay to do all that. So as a woman, you got to learn your man. I think once you learn your man and do the things that a man can't like front and be like, man, this girl made me feel a type of way. That's when a man would jump off a cliff for you, run through a wall, whatever you want to do. Once you just show that you're different from other women, because you acting the same as every other girl, you ain't about to separate yourself from nobody.
The only thing I'll add to what you just said, because everything I love what you just said, but I think for the ladies, I think it's important to understand your man's love language. Like there's the book, The 5 Love Languages. Honestly, try to figure out what your man's love language is. Because the fact of the matter is, like, the fact that he doesn't say it, that just may not be the way that he shows it, right? He could be a person who shows his love just by being there with you, or maybe by spending time with you. Like he might just like the fact that you're there in his presence, right? That's one of the things I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to be doing a whole lot, but just like if it's a woman who just be there with me, or like if I'm doing something, you don't even have to be participating in it, but I just like to have your presence with me. If it's a woman I'm really rocking with, right? Or maybe he just likes, physical touch. Like that's one of the 5 love languages. Maybe he just wants you just to like have your hand on his shoulder. It's just some little stuff like that. Like just because he doesn't say it doesn't mean he doesn't feel it. He probably didn't grow up like hearing this. That's why I'm big on understanding people's background, people's past, because their past tells a lot of how they are now, right? If you're a person who didn't grow up hearing I love you, or didn't grow up seeing what that was like, it's going to be hard for them to show it themselves, because it's like, well, what does that look like? How is that? How do I do that? You know what I mean? So I just think it takes a little bit of pulling back later. Like Elle said, if a guy is showing you behavior that you're not rocking with, you have to have the courage to leave. And like leaving, not on some like, oh, I'll leave it, but I'm doing it grudgingly. You have to understand, like, this is not for me. I need to respect myself above anything else, and I need to move on. You know what I mean? So I definitely is what I would say.
No, that was spot on. Learn somebody's background, literally. Because like once you learn that, man, we can front a big game. But once we like y'all, bro, we really do like. I don't care who you are. You can be the toughest machos, tallest. Like I'm 6'4", 250 plus, like, or 230. Well, I'm 230. I forgot how much I weigh now. But I don't care how big or how strong you are, bro. We saw that. I got no problem saying like I can turn this thing up with somebody, but I have no problem being soft on my woman, like at all. So it's like, you got to be that woman. Like, I want to see, like I told you in other episodes, like, I don't want to see you out here turning around your butt. Like, just like, to me, it's like you just falling in the same line as everybody else. Like, show your worth. Like, if you know, like, I don't like people saying it's a hot girl summer, I'm a bad this. I don't like hearing that. Like, I see that by the actions that you use. Like, every girl that I've talked to that I really cared about, they moved so solid that it's hard for me to like cave and want to just hit somebody up, that they made me be like, man, what you doing? You good? Like, how you been? Like, because they move so solid. And I think y'all women all have the capability of it. It's just a lot of y'all are hurt from stuff. And it's like, y'all try to show out and act out when y'all don't have to do that. Like, the way to do that is to become really a boss chick by like really leveling up, like financially, mentally, like by yourself. And then the rest will come. Boy, I got bars.
Boy, you on fire, man.
I got to stop.
All right. Next point on the list is going to be, and I quote, I'm chasing the bag, so I don't have time to date as a woman.
Bro, I hate that excuse.
All right, we'll talk about it then, London.
At the same, I think they do it because they don't want to be rude of curving you. On the other side, they could be hurt as well. They could be hurt and they just don't want to give that. Like, a girl told me this that I started rocking with. She was like, I don't got time for no guys. I'm be honest with you. I ain't looking for nothing. And when you say that to me, I'm going to let you go get the bag. I ain't going to bother you. I'm going to let you go do you. I'm going to say, good job, girl. All power to you. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that I said that and I kind of like agree with her. I was like, well, I guess I'll see you at the wedding because one of my homegirls is about to get married. Mm-hmm. I was like, I guess I'll see you at the wedding when the time comes. She said, wait, you ain't going to try to like push to get me? Like, what? You just said you was busy and you trying to get your own bag. Like, why? Just because I agree with you and let you do that, then now you want to pursue this, and then down the line, she's just now she rocking with me. So I'm like, see, you could have just been open and been like, honestly, it's hard for me to trust men, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to do the right, proper steps for me to get you. Or if you really are like that, then really be about that. Don't be just curving dude that you say that to and then liking some other dude. Like, to me, it's weird to me. So I don't know how you feel.
You weren't listening, London. You see, she was trying to tell you, but you weren't listening to what her clues were.
Well, see, I told you got to tell me direct. I'll let you go.
I mean, here's the thing. I'll play devil's advocate real quick though before I go. What if she really is she's about her career, she's about working, and she really is just trying to level up herself like you talked about? What if she just really doesn't have the time in her schedule to do it? I mean,
no, she does. We're all busy. We all have the same 24 hours.
Thank you. All right. And now I'll go.
Will Smith, that's a person that gets crazy to say his name, but Will Ferrell or whoever, like they have so much more to do than you, me, whoever, and they find time to do something. So it's like, you have the time to do it, even though I'm faulty for it too. I struggle with texting people back. I struggle with a lot of things, but nobody's too busy for anything. Like, we all have the same 24 hours, but it's how you manage your day.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And see, that leads into my point. My thing is, when I hear that, it's like you very well could be busy, but my thing is, people make time for the things that they see as a priority or the things that matter to them. Right, men and women. So it's like a woman saying, I'm chasing the bag, therefore I don't have time today. It's like you're chasing the bag, which is good, but you just don't want to make dating a priority. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just don't lie. Like, a guy's not gonna, just don't lie about it. Like, a guy's not gonna hear that and be able to be like, oh, okay, fine. Like, for me, when I hear anything about, oh, I've been busy, or oh, I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Like, I'm not following you. Like, by all means, handle your business, but I'm good and I'm gonna just, do something else.
I think we got to stop thinking, like I told Blake this. I said, bro, we're just weirdos. Like, we're not going to keep pressing you. Like, that's why I think women say that too, because dudes are desperate and they will keep coming. Like, so they got to sit here and make a lie up. So if that's what y'all are doing, I get it. Mm-hmm. But how me, you, and all the people that we hang out with, like, think, like, it's just like, we're not about to press you. We're not about to bother you. If you want to do that, baby, go do you. I want you to go get that. I want that for you. Like, I'm not about to, maybe I'm not in your plans right now. Sorry. Just wanted to come introduce myself. Maybe I just wanted to see how you are. If that's not in your plans, that's fine.
Problem. And you know me, like, I've told, how many times have I told you this in the gym or when we've been chilling? It's just like, I'm the most, I don't want to bother nobody type individual.
Oh, yeah.
out there. It's like it's not even on like I don't know how to communicate. Like if anything, I maybe it's me having a lot of introversion, but the thing is like when people talk to me, like I have no problem giving my piece. But for me, it's like I don't try to force the issue too much because I understand that people who want you there, they're gonna naturally flock and gravitate towards you. People who don't want you around ain't gonna really give you the time of day, right? It's the same thing with women, with sales, with everything. Like, women is just like, all right, like I already know you probably are entering it from the mindset that I'm trying to get something from you. But then it's like whenever I actually am able to have a conversation with them, when I actually just want to talk to them, it's like, wait, I didn't anticipate you having like this level of personality. I didn't anticipate you being able to communicate this
it's
good.
baffling.
Yeah, it throws them
The
off.
conversations that like I said, another girl, she was like, honestly, you guys are the first people to ask me how my day was or just have a conversation. I'm like, so when you go on dates, and she's like, she confirmed she go on dates. I said, do y'all not talk about any of this? She's like, no. I'm like, so y'all sit there for however long talking about nothing. She's like, guys just don't ask questions. They just don't. I'm like, but this is why I or whoever I hang out with have, and I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just being honest with what has happened. Like, this is why these girls be out here tripping like, oh, you're so different. I'm like, I'm not different. I'm just having a grown-up conversation with you, asking you questions like you do everybody, but I guess not. Maybe we are different. I don't know.
I'll pose this to you and let me see what you think about this. Maybe it's that guys feel that if they try to, hold a conversation with the woman or, they try to talk for too much, they become too long-winded, and then becoming too long-winded, they then, they turn the woman off because this dude's talking too much. Like, I don't want to have this whole back and forth. I think a lot of guys get told that message, right? That it like you shouldn't be trying to talk to them all night. You shouldn't be trying to, be too long-winded. You shouldn't be trying to talk the ear off. You should just be simple, get the point across, and then get to what you want to do, which most guys are trying to get to the box. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I hear that verbiage and that message kind of getting preached, and I'm like, yeah, like in the end, you should let your intentions be known. And like, obviously, like if you want to be intimate with the woman, like, sure, but there's a way of doing it where you don't have to be so like quick to it, but then you also have to you have to have some game. I mean, I hate using that word. I hate using it in that way, but it's like, you gotta have a little sauce and a little pizzazz. And all that means is just have a balance, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk your ear off, but then at the same time, still be able to make your intentions known, but not in the direct way that's going to turn her off. What do you think about that?
This is my sales come in. This is my sales. Like, this is sales 101. If I'm talking to a customer or a client or anything at work,
yep,
I use question-based selling.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you so many questions, and once you start talking, I'm gonna sit back and let you speak. I'm gonna let you tell. I don't care who you are. People like speaking on themselves. People like talking about themselves. Absolutely. I don't care who you are. People like talking about themselves. So once you make that person warm, they'll just get the yapping. So you talking to a woman, you make her feel comfortable. Ask her about herself, where she has her goals, like what made her want to go to the gym, what made her do that, and let her start talking. And after that, you just sprinkle in little bits of what you want to talk about, and they're gonna be like, wow. This guy sat there and listened. All these women want from y'all guys is for y'all to listen and just hear them. If you hear a woman out, oh my God, it sounds terrible. It's so easy to have sex. But
shit, London. Goddamn.
But it is like you just have to be that guy. You have to just know what you're doing. Yeah. It's like a challenge. Like, women are trying to it's so many guys wanting them.
Yeah.
That for you to win that battle, you just have to do things differently. So it took me time just to study and just really just go about different things. I'm like, this is how I'm gonna get these women. And it is a game. Y'all be like, well, why are you trying to make it? It is a game. Because y'all wouldn't be curving me if that wasn't or whatever. I mean, maybe I could just be ugly to y'all. But you gotta go different strategic ways. That way didn't work. A lot of ways for me that I do it, but I just naturally don't like people. So it's easy for me not to talk to nobody. So I just would hit you up. You don't reply to me, I would never speak to you again.
Yeah. See, I learned this in my profession. Like, you're in sales, I'm in education and, public health. So my thing is I talk to people for a living as well. My thing is people who want to talk, you let them talk and they'll give you what they want to tell you. Like they'll tell you what they're thinking if you just sit back and listen to them. You mean?
Right.
But like you said, like I'm very big on just having the question approach and just kind of like, all right, what you thinking about this? And my thing is be present in the moment of what's going on. Don't try to bring a bunch of stuff from out of pocket because then the conversation is gonna come like seem kind of weird. But if you're asking it, like if you're in the gym, what you get in the gym for? How like what do you do? Are you competing? Do you bodybuild? Do you powerlift? Like little stuff like that. How long you been in the gym? And then just let the woman talk. Let her kind of say a piece, and then as long as you keep it on topic and on subject, that's where the whole listening comes back. Like you'll sit back there, and then like at the end, it's just like, dang, this fool actually really was listening to what I was saying. I don't really feel like I got to know him, and that's what you kind of want. That's the level you need to be at. Not, oh man, this dude talked my ear off, and I didn't really get to get him off. You know what I'm saying? Because then you come off. That's the whole desperation, and that's the whole dudes aren't listening. I think that's where those 2 points come back and get intertwined.
I agree.
All right. Leave it there. So this next point is men lack commitment and promiscuity up in these streets. L. So what do you think about that?
Oh boy, love. I really want you to answer this first. I don't know why, but I feel like I want to feed off you on this one. Do you think men lack commitment?
Yeah, there is a lack of commitment amongst men and women. And honestly, this is gonna sound bad, but women caused it.
Ding, 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 ding.
And the reason why women caused it is because men are very much a product of what their realities tell them. What many men see these days, from what I've gathered, ladies, is that when you try to be committed to them, or when guys try to commit to you guys, they get met with all types of, well, you're not worthy, or you're not attractive, or I'm not really feeling you right now, or I want you to, give me X, Y, or Z. I want you to take me out of.
Here's a crazy one. Or you are doing too much. You're doing everything too. I've heard this so many times. I'm like, are you like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all just ask for the same thing that you just said. You want all these qualities. And when a man gives you that, y'all still run away.
And you know what tells on women? TikTok be telling on. See, again, I know we're not trying to be on the social media stuff. I know we're trying to be open-minded, but honestly, I'm like, oh, like really, like I really be sending London these type of clips where it's like a woman will have the full package. She'll have a guy who's loyal, she'll have a guy who's handsome, who treats her with respect, and then it's like, but then toxic guy. Oh no, that's the one I want. I'm like, okay, well, see, y'all are telling on yourselves, you're really making it quite easy. So then guys, of course, see that, and we're like, well, for the most part, at least, if that's what women want, then I just won't commit to them. I'm just gonna get what I want. I'm gonna get what I need, and then I'm gonna move on to the next one. But then where we find ourselves is that women are saying, "Oh, men ain't shit, and we're toxic, and we're this and we're that." Insert negative language here. So yes, there's a lack of commitment, but it's a direct product of what women are giving men, in my opinion. Unfortunately,
I think a lot of women can contest to this. Y'all say we want to feel like we've changed y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can't change us. Well, you can't change me at least. Like,
can't be changed, like, London.
You can't change. I gotta want to change. So it's like women feel like they need to be like, they feel so honored if you were a HOE and then they came into your life and changed you and made you this holy guy. That's what makes them feel great. And
that's not possible without the guy wanting to do it. So I hate to say it, but it's not y'all who did it. It's he probably wanted to make the change for himself, more likely than not. Or maybe he saw the error of his ways, and that's what caused him to change, not necessarily the woman, honestly. To me, a guy who wants a cheater always a cheater. I feel that. I mean, unless it's a particularly, like gem of a woman where she gives him everything he wants, and he's like, she's in his eyes, and there's nothing else that he could want from anybody else, then that man might settle down. But if he's a guy who's got a history of being promiscuous and do what he wants, then I feel like that's how he's going to be. Just like it's the same for a guy who's loyal. A guy who's loyal, in my opinion, understands like it's more beneficial for him to be that way than to be out here, sleeping around and causing more headache, more stress. So I just say that, like I've said previously, take whatever guy that's talking to at that moment for what he is, right? Don't try to change him. Maybe he'll change on his own. And if that's just icing on the cake. But if you're trying to enter a relationship with a guy, ladies, thinking, okay, yeah, he's this way, but maybe I can make him this way. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not how guys work. That's not how we're wired. If anything, we're more likely to reject change because you're telling us to do it. That's the team.
Ours.
Alrighty. We can move on from that one. All right. Now, this next point, I'll take the lead on this one too, because I was grilled on this particular one specifically. Not emotionally vulnerable men are not. Okay. And the reason why I got grilled on this one was because this particular person who brought this up, she heard what I said about I feel like men shouldn't be vulnerable with their woman, and I still believe that. And the reason being is that in my experience, both through my relationships, through all the other relationships that I've seen, through my interactions with women, being friends with them, every time it's never failed where a guy gets a little bit emotionally vulnerable, like it's a very clear and instant drop off in attraction from the woman, right? The way I kind of describe it is that, like, women say, I hear it all the time, I want a man to be emotionally vulnerable to me. I want him to open up. I want him to express his emotion. I want him to express his feelings. And I say, and this is what I told my friend too. I said, that sounds good. And probably, you know what? You probably do want that. But this is what I think would really happen. You guys, he'll be emotional to you, L. And then maybe you guys have the best sex that you guys ever had. He finally opened up to me, right? He finally was emotional to me. Finally gave me what I wanted. Then that post-nut clarity hits, and it's like, he was emotionally vulnerable. How do I trust him to lead after that? You know what I'm saying? This guy, how do I know if something hits the fan, he's gonna, be able to pull through?
I hate women.
No. We're not hating women. This is not that type of podcast, L.
Man, I've heard this so many times. Like,
okay, so this isn't just me just saying it. That's all. I'm just saying, man. Like, it's one of those things. It's never worked. So I'm a person where it's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, we ain't gonna get to number 2. So that's where I stand on that one. What do you think about that, L? Am I tripping? Am I wrong? Is my mental messed up, man? I'm
not gonna say all girls are like that. Some of them want you to be emotional. I mean, it's just hard for me to be emotional. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I do agree with you. A lot of women gonna be like, "How can I make him lead if he always huffing and puffing, crying?" It's like, why are you crying? Man up. So it's like,
why are you crying? Man up. Exactly. Why man up? You see what I'm saying? Or why are you acting like a female? I'm just saying, like, that's,
if a girl said that to me, she ain't got to worry about ever seeing me hurt ever again. So I think what a lot of women might say is you're going overboard with it, or you're doing too much. I'm like, okay, well, that's the case. I just shut up. That's why I tell people, like, if you tell me that, I just won't say nothing else. And then why you shut down? I'm not shutting down. Just if I say something how I feel, it's getting taken as I'm over the top or you're overdoing it. I'm like, so I just would just never say nothing about it again. And then you're going to be like, well, you're not opening up. I'm like, exactly. Because I can't, because as a man, we're looked at to provide, protect, and love, and that's it. And you can't show emotions.
And security, both financially and emotionally too. And that security comes in you being secure in your emotions and not getting wavered, right? That's how men are taught to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, you getting emotional, that's you wavering from your emotional stability, right? And if you're emotionally unstable, then how can the woman trust you to be there for her? You know what I'm saying? It's what guys, unfortunately. I mean, it's maybe not right. Maybe that's not the ideal, but that's the way guys have been trained for millennia. That's how guys are still trained to be. Those of us, especially us who have fathers, like, okay. And then I'll take it a step further, right? Me and Elle have talked about this numerous times. I come from a Nigerian background where my parents immigrated from Africa to here. So my thing has always been, or what has always happened for me is, anytime I'd ever tried to, speak my mind, oh, I don't feel this is fair. I don't feel this is right. You get hit. Every Nigerian, I guarantee you, has heard this. You know, I came from Nigeria. I had nothing. I had no water. I had no TV. I had no social media to do nothing. If I had been born here, I would be a somebody. Okay. So it's like when you hear that every time you want to get emotional about something, you just like, well, bro, all right, I ain't gonna say nothing then. So, like I had a homie in the gym yesterday. He's Hispanic. It's the same thing. I think most of their parents kind of put their children through this, especially their sons. It's like anytime you want to get emotional, it's like, remember, I came from this. So you're complaining that you have
exactly.
So it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna shut up then.
That's kind of why I always say like, are you this? Are you that? Like my dad would be like, pick your chest up, keep it moving. I'm like, God dang, like I can't cry, I can't do nothing. Like, oh, you crying? I'm gonna give you something to cry about. What do you mean?
Like, if I hear tears, you're gonna get beaten more. It's like, well, fuck, man.
Well, we just won't cry or do nothing. We sit here and act numb, and that's why it results to grown up trauma. And y'all women be like, what's wrong with y'all? I'm like, nothing. I'm just built this way.
Exactly. I'm just wired this way. And maybe it's not right, but here's the thing I'll argue is that a guy who doesn't learn how to handle his emotions, I think those are usually the guys that you see in jail. They didn't know how to show restraint, and so as a result they never had to learn that emotional maturity. And then my bad, it was spur of the moment, I let my emotions get the best of me, and then this happened. You know what I'm saying? I got into a fight, I got arrested, I got sent to jail, or I hit somebody I shouldn't have hit. Even with women, it's the same thing. Oh, my bad, I said something I didn't mean because it was spur of the moment. Well, there are consequences to those type of things. So I think emotional maturity is important, and not making everything, something volatile is kind of a vital skill to have, in my opinion. Ah, man, that was a good one. All right. But one thing though I will acknowledge though from the woman's aspect of, speaking for the ladies, is that I do think it is important to kind of be with someone who has the ability to like communicate to you what's going on with them, especially if you're trying to, build a relationship, build a life with that man. It is kind of important for us as guys to be able to at least communicate if something's going on, like still reassure the woman, obviously, but it's like, yo, this happened, this could cause an issue, or, at least be secure in yourself and understanding like, yo, okay, my wife might want to know what's going on, just as her showing care. So instead of being closed off and saying nothing is wrong, it's like, well, no, we got this going on here. Just have communication. I think that'll solve a lot of the issues in terms of emotional maturity, right? Doesn't mean that you close off and then you just let the negative emotions brew, but still be able to have that funnel, present that I always talk about, where it's like, okay, I'm not ever going to bestow my negative emotions on my woman, but at the same time, I always keep her in the know as far as what is going on, and always assure her that, we're good, me and her. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Like, you gotta, like, women do want a man who can express their feelings, but on the back end of it, it's like, you gotta kind of be careful. You kind of gotta be cautious with us. Like we are work in progress. Like we haven't seen it. We trying to fix it. Like I'll be trying to tell women like I'm really not trying to be like this. Like this, I ain't trying to be wired like some just hardcore dude. It's just I've done it so long. It's like, so I'm getting better at it. I'm working on it. Just trying
same for me. Same for me. Like I've been told numerous times, like, Mike, you're so guarded, you're too guarded. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Now I'm starting to slowly get it, and I'm trying to work on it because I understand that maybe it's not healthy, or it's not fair for the woman that I choose to be with. If like I'm just this person who doesn't ever show emotion or doesn't ever like know how to communicate when something's going on. Like, it's like you said, it's a work in progress. It's not gonna happen overnight, but best believe, like, this is part of the reason why me and Elle, do this show, is because like we're literally communicating and we're working on ourselves, like in real time, having these conversations, being able to bounce these ideas back and forth. So, I think it's all about just being able to step out your comfort zone and really just acknowledge, like, is there an issue happening? And if there is, then how do we go about fixing it, All right. Next on the list, Elle, pretty straightforward. Modern men aren't attractive.
That's stupid.
Oh, I know you joke about maybe we're just ugly. Maybe we just aren't attractive.
Nah, I'm lying to you. You know what they be comparing me to?
Who they would compare you to?
I'm lying. I ain't gonna say it online because they gonna
Nah, go
think
ahead, say it, right?
that's what they tell me. They compare me to Michael B. This ain't even no joke. This is what they just say I look like. But I'm tired of saying that. That's what they just call me. So I don't think dudes are. What was it? You said men aren't attractive. Modern. Yeah. What's the difference between modern men and older?
Well, to me, there's actually a few layers. I think what it goes to is so there's obviously the like the physique and the looks. I think maybe that's speaking to men who aren't in the gym as consistently as they could be. Because like the fact of the matter is a lot of women a lot of women, because of Instagram and social media, this is still a good thing, are in the gym, building the dumpies up, you know what I'm saying, getting their body IG ready because there's a profit to be made, right? Because of OF or because of just sponsorships from clothing brands. So I asked a friend of mine whenever I heard that point, I was like, what was the difference in the transition between 5 years ago where women didn't want to really be in the gym? They were afraid of having, masculine looking bodies, quote unquote, to now it seems like every woman is in the gym, it seems. And she told me, she was like, Instagram. And there was money involved. And when money is involved, people tend to get on, but the thing is that, when a woman is particularly in shape, or if she's in the gym, she expects her partner to, reciprocate the same thing, which is fair. And that's true. And I agree with that. So when people say, oh, dad bods are attractive, I'm like, are they? You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where it goes to, is just there's a physique aspect, and then there's a money aspect, there's an ambition aspect. I think the total package of modern men, because of how many deficiencies, how many flaws can be seen, it's very difficult for a guy to present himself as the full package, is what I think.
That's very true. Like, I didn't look at it like that. It's just, I don't think like a dad bod is attractive, but I mean, maybe that's what a woman likes. I mean, me is like, we're all into fitness. So it's like, we like to be in the best physical shape. And you made a great point that women are all getting like dump trunks and having the great bodies because it's like it's profitable on like IG. It's actually like a benefit because like a lot of girls now who just work out. Yeah. Like a lot of people just work out. So it's a plus with modern stuff, but also it's a downfall on modern stuff because it's like you gain the physical aspect. It's probably the healthiest, I think. I mean, maybe I'm just in that industry, but it's probably the healthiest that I've seen just people in a long time. But on the back end of it is like, this is just you have to learn how to, I think when women say that we're not attractive in this era, it's because our actions of like move on social media or something. But it's like on the same end, y'all's actions ain't the best. Like y'all, I told y'all doing ridiculous things, but we all got to just get better as a team. We're going to say this is a team effort, not guys versus girls. It's a team effort.
Most definitely. It all takes us getting accountability. And one thing I'll acknowledge is like us, like you said, we're both in the fitness industry. I know a lot of people who may look healthy, but then if you ask them, they're not healthy at all. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not internally healthy. Their body, their physiology is not healthy, right? Like a lot of these bodybuilders, steroids, oh yeah, it looked good when they were on the stage, but then now a lot of them are not, unfortunately, they're passing quickly. So it's that. And then it's like, even to get that body, like a lot of people, when I used to ask them, it's like, bro, I feel like shit, bro, I'm tired, bro, I'm deficient. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in the end, you have to actually like look past the Instagram bodies and look past the Instagram stuff and actually look at the depth of a person. Like that's, I think, why you and I still can have like genuine conversations with women in general and actually like still be able to like, carry ourselves the way we do. Like for me, I'm big on a woman's presence, right? Like, do you have a radiant energy that emanates from you that attracts me to you? Or are you just someone who is big on, I just want to look good for IG, and so that I get the validation that I need, and I get that quick fix, and then I don't really know how to have conversations. I don't know how to have any depth to my personality, right? As a woman, and, even for guys, like, is all you think your worth is limited to is just the way you look and your money? You know what I'm saying? Or do you actually have something about yourself that it gives you that, sense of assurance, that confidence? You know what I'm saying?
I think what you said was good was like me and you, we kind of think like, yeah, if you look good, that's a plus. But now you got past stage one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I talk to you, your mentality is completely off. I'm so thrown off of you like that. I don't even think you look good no more. So it's like if you if you don't got that mindset for me, I can't rock with you.
Not at all.
So it's like to me, I can't do it. That's why people like, man, you only want somebody from an IG model. Not really. I just want somebody who's fine. Don't get me wrong. But like if your mentality is on 10, oh my God, we are getting married in my head.
But that's a fact, bro. That's like, again, it's like, oh, she looks so fine, Mike. How you not? I'm like, because her heart wasn't pure. You know what I'm saying?
Pure. It wasn't. You move weird. You care about these. Some girls, oh my God. She deleted one of her posts. She's like, my post ain't doing good. I'm like, bro, you doing way too much. Get out of my face. I don't want to hear about this.
So that's what I think what sets us apart of why our dynamic is different in terms of us and interaction. Like we can see past all the body stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, you look good, but what's up in here? What's going on in here? What's going on in here? You know what I'm saying? If these two things are aligned with me, then all right, we can make something work. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact of the matter is, as we age, the body will fade. It's harder to keep that going. But if you can keep a good mindset, if you can keep a good spirit, if you can keep a good energy to you, those are the things that'll have longevity to them. You know what I'm saying? I've always been that way. Anyway. All right. And then last point, communication is severely lacking. So we kind of touched on this throughout the episode, but just to give it its own point, when you hear communication is severely lacking amongst men, what do you think of?
Honestly, I think women lack communication more than men. I don't care what nobody says.
All right. Throwing it back on the ladies. Dang. Okay.
No, I see what y'all are saying, ladies, but it's like I just say both of us suck at it. We just both suck at communication. I mean, London don't suck at communication, but men and women suck at communication on a general level. Yeah. It's only because we don't want to. I don't think we want to hurt people's feelings once. Mm-hmm. 1, 2. They don't know how to word it at the time, or they might say something hurtful. So they just don't say nothing at all. And then once they get over it, they just move on from it. But little do you know, by you doing that, it's going to just keep being buildups. And before you know, you're going to have like a big blow over and you're like, man, this is why I feel this way, this. And she's like, dang, why you didn't say this?
Like, you said this when you had the chance. You waited.
Yeah, like,
got out of hand.
So it's just like, we got to both be better at it. And women, they get so scared to say what they want to say. Because like us men, we might kind of raise our voice a little bit, be a little deeper with it. And then they had to sit there and just be like, I'm like, well, I ain't got nothing to say. They're going to be like, nothing. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I'm just like, forget it. Because that's why I don't even say anything no more. Because like, I love to communicate. Like that's never been my problem. It's just like, women shut down and just be looking at me like they don't know what to say. I'm like, am I speaking to a wall? Or do you have, that's why I don't think it's men. Maybe like a lot of things that I've struggled with is not thinking as men, because I am not lacking that. So I got to stop thinking like that. Like I do know I'm an anomaly. So, so maybe women are just like most men are lacking communication because they don't know how to speak their emotions when it's at that time. And then when they blow up, then they bring it back up then. So.
No, that's a good point. Something you mentioned, I think, relates to a point that one of my friends was telling me. One of my lady friends was telling me was that we're like in this new social media age, ghosting is a big thing. Where people would rather not confront something, I'm just gonna ghost you. And I think that's absolutely correct. I think that kind of goes to what you were talking about. That rather than having these conversations, rather than having this communication, no, that's a little too uncomfortable. So I'm just going to cut the person off. I'm just going to stop talking to them. Right. And it's like, yeah, I'd even kind of come to that realization, like I maybe am just an anomaly just from the standpoint I'm old school. I still know how to communicate. I'm not too caught up and consumed with social media. Like I know how to separate the two, you know what I'm saying? But for so many people who grew up with social media, it just is what it is, right? And I have a lot of people, a lot of older people, a lot of like, having this podcast with you every week that kind of hold me accountable in terms of like, I have to be someone who tries to practice as hard as I can to practice what I preach. And like I can't ever be like, oh, I'm just going to give up, or I'm just going to start acting a fool, because it's like there are people who actually listen to what I say, or who actually interact with me and check in and like make sure that I don't get, too carried away. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's part of like my thing of always trying to be introspective. Like, okay, did I communicate this in the right way, or what could I have done better? I think a lot of people say, well, nope, if I don't like it, then I'm just gonna, veer off. Like I hear this one thing from women. Sorry to bring this up on y'all ladies, but it's like so many women say, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, well, maybe this is because as a guy, you don't get to say, I don't like the way you said things. Like, you learn this in football. A coach can be the type to yell at you, or he could be a mild-mannered coach. Either way, it's on you to take the coaching and to take the message and to figure it out, right? So we don't get to have that, oh, I don't like the way coach said this to me. It just is what it is. So I think a lot of women, if they don't like the way something was said, then they're not going to listen to the messaging, and they're not listening to the message. They're going to say, oh, you don't know how to communicate, or you can't communicate. It's like, no, he said what he needed.
Like that.
Huh?
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, man. Because I'm like, so much of like, when I say things, because I'm mild-mannered for the most part, except when I get a little passionate, on things that I believe in. Like I'm usually mild-mannered in the way I communicate and conversate with people, which is why I think usually others gravitate towards listening to what I have to say, or like why I can have conversations with people, because I don't have an agenda. I like to think. And then it's like, I just try to, okay, what are you saying? If I don't understand it, then I'm like, okay, what do you mean by this? Or elaborate on this. Okay, based off of what you gave me, this is what my feedback is, or this is what I'm gathering. But a lot of people say, nope, I'm going to be brash, I'm going to be abrasive, and I'm just going to tell you this and take it and swallow it. It's like, well, not everybody listens that way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the communication aspect is kind of missed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you got to put yourself in another person's shoes. Like me, it's hard for me to do it. I'm like, well, I was raised this way. This is the only way I know how to do it. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm trying to learn how to fix that. Cause I'm like, there's people who was raised different ways. I was raised different ways. So it's like, you got to come to a common ground to kind of come that one goal is to be happy, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what helped me was the fact I was not a person. I was a sensitive kid, man, but I was a person who didn't like being yelled at. Like I literally, I tune people out who yell, right, or get loud or anything of that nature. So I understand that that's a personality trait of mine, but I still know how to take the messaging, because like, okay, I've been coached hard, I've been yelled at, I know how to be able to just, okay, this is what they're really saying, extract it, take the tone out. But I know a lot of people don't have that ability, or don't want to learn that ability. So it's like, okay, my approach is approach everybody like they want to be spoken to mild-manneredly. Those who need a kick in the ass, okay, boom, you communicate with them that way. People who maybe need, a little bit more reassuring communication, okay, talk to them that way, just by your interaction with them. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
All right. So as we wrap up and we get to the end, man. All right, fellas. The ladies have listed their complaints. It's time for us to take accountability. L, how do we afflict change, and how do we fix the problem?
How do men fix the problem?
Boy, if we knew, we wouldn't have this motherfucking problem.
Exactly. I don't know. This is something that I usually got the answer to everything. I do not know how we take accountability. Because in my defense, I don't be thinking I'm wrong, and that's my problem. But to put it into their perspective, listen, try to put yourself in their shoes.
Empathy.
Try to be understanding, hear them.
Yes.
Be accommodating.
Accommodating. I like that.
I don't know, just
accommodating doesn't sound too much like simping. Just posing a question for the men. I can hear it already. Accommodating.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's bad to be a simp. Like, I don't. If that's your girl, like, I mean, Obi gonna say, don't.
Why are we always gotta say Obi saying?
Because Obi just don't. Y'all not about to play with him. I'm just gonna say that. Y'all women not about to play with Obi.
I don't know.
He's not about to have it one bit. Like, you're not about to play with me either. But I don't know. If I love you, I might I might be okay with simping, but I'm just more of like I'm getting off the topic. Anyways, all I'm saying is take accountability for your stuff. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't believe in happy wife, happy life. But also, if you're wrong, fellas, say you're wrong, move on from it. You can't always be right because you're a male. Just say, I'm wrong, babe, and move on.
So we're going to leave it at that, man. Great conversation this week. Great episode. I think man definitely need to hear this message, so we're going to get it out to y'all. Ladies, I hope what we talked about this week helps. I hope we were able to kind of bring some light to some of the things you guys are talking about, because it is about hearing both sides of the argument and hearing both people's stories and, just trying to make sense of everything. As far as everything else, just continue to tap in with me and L on social media. On Instagram, you can follow me at ob.mike56. On IG, L, plug your Instagram.
Yeah, and follow me on London, LONDON _OGLETREE. I just want to say I appreciate y'all for keep giving us the love that we're getting. We coming, we making a slow approach, and we're gonna have more content. We even gonna grow and keep growing, and eventually we're gonna have our own little area where we're gonna have a table with some nice things and kind of invite y'all ladies and men around so we can have some more deeper talks. So I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, it was just the beginning. We'll continue to keep tapping in with us, keep sharing the message, and we're going to keep spreading the movement. And as always, this is Four and Step Podcast, and we out of here.
Feet on the ground with a prove you wrong mindset. I'd rather go out on my sword than have my mind tapped. The ones with eyes can never see, I make the blind clap. I'm bringing back that type of sound that wants to find rap.